Folks, I did not bother doing the math. I was just convinced that Craterhoof was lethal. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. We're going to be playing some Magic the Gathering Arena today, as always. These are some of the highlights from our stream, and I really hope you enjoy the games. If you do really enjoy the program, please don't forget to leave a like and subscription. It really, really helps the channel. So without further ado, let's get to the games. All right. Do that thing. And Knight of the Ebon Legion, join the party. Interesting. Well, get into combat, do 1 damage, acquisitions expert, see what Victor gets up to here. Presumably goblins. Whoa, Quakebringer. Not goblins. Notably not goblins. Okay. All right. Power button's broken and the remote stopped. No, Heavy Metal Dragon. As long as it's set to... See, that's the thing. Folks, as it should... That's why you should watch me on your television as well, just in case Heavy Metal Dragon's situation comes up. That way, you at least know every day you get really good content. You know. Is what it is. You know. Great, Dark. Good to see you. Run my standard deck idea. Oh, turn my standard deck idea. Well, I mean, Great Dark, that's... Yeah, that's the more expensive thing. Right? But that's definitely a thing I do on the more expensive one. Because the idea of the 20,000 channel point redemption is that I don't have to do anything. I just take your deck and I play it a little bit and then give you some recommendations. And if the recommendations are good, great. If they're bad, sorry. But like, you know, I don't have to do anything. With the other one, it's because, you know, I'm going to sink more time in, right? Well, now would have been a really good time to get... Okay. All right. All right. So, opponent goes with 5 mana. Mame whispering sweet nothings at me, you know? Sorry, folks. Shadowrunner CA, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right. They can activate the Faceless Haven. That's not ideal. All right. Well, this is good. Holy crud. Go blank is great. Tax due. How are you this fine day? Because remember, don't forget, they've got this Quakebringer in the bin that also causes problems as long as they have a giant. So getting rid of that thing is pivotal. Victor Villaverde, probably a little bit chagrined about having to discard. Does so, though. Looks like it was a squash and something else. Not sure. No attacks. Don't want to run into Faceless Haven without mana. Agar the Freezing Flame. Not ideal. Well, all of these things are awkward, folks. All of them. So, oop. Knight of the Ebon Legion, get in there. Okay, damage dealt. And Davriel Rogue Shadowmage, come on down. Make them discard another card. Okay, Battle of Frost and Fire goes away. All right. Opponent gonna take a pair of damage from Davriel Rogue Shadowmage. Hey, nice, Mame. Feels good. Oh, Bone Crusher Giant. No. And they're at the appropriate mana for being able to just cast Bone Crusher Giant as well. Inconvenient. Well, we take damage down to 13. Not ideal. Hey, though. That's a good one. That is a good one. So, I think we're just going to do this, actually. And risk it. For the proverbial biscuit, do we knock them down to 3? Or because they might be able to kill us with the Faceless Haven. Let's not. Let's just get in like this. This is better, I think. Counter goes on. Great FG. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. No! Battle of Frost and Fire. I guess it was better to knock him down to 3, folks. I guess it was better to knock him down to 3. Shoot. Free packs next month? Yeah. So let's see. That would be... All right. All right. Opponent at 1. We're at 8. What do you got? You get to scry 3, but you've already drawn your card. Plat 1 or Mythic with CGB's mono red deck. Yeah. Oh boy, that's awesome. Great Afghan. All right, so they can activate their Faceless Haven again. Oh. All right, Davriel. Victor Villaverde. Do you have a removal spell? Or I'm sorry, a counter spell? Removal spell. A removal spell not super helpful there, but a counter spell would have been unfortunate. Going to get rid of Agar the Freezing Flame. And pray we don't die. All right. So, folks. So, I live here and work here, and I'm familiar with all the lingo we use around here. I also was trying to figure out how there was only a half a kid. Like, that was very, very confusing to me. Davriel. Opponent. Gotcha. Okay, so, and you might be curious as to why we would not cast Waste Not here, because this is kill shot, unless they counterspell it. So I didn't want to give them an opening for a soft counter here by casting Waste Not first when we didn't need the card. This kills them. This is awkward, but we're gonna hang on to it. They're on Gigantha, which typically means mono red. So I think we do want plenty of removal spells, which we do have, so, you know. Oh, Sliver. Okay, that is not mono red, but we do want plenty of removal spells, I can tell you that. It's going to be a long day. Oh, boy, I bet, mate. I bet. All right, Predatory Sliver joins the party. Well, Acquisitions Expert's kind of nice here. It's going to become a 4-2. I don't always... Poseidon, and that's not like a promise I make or whatever, you know. Oh, okay, but it is like a thing I like to do from time to time when we do the Davriel Day. Is just, you know, to make it fun and interesting, make it a little different, make it special. But it's also not a thing that I promise to do because, all right, so we're gonna let him go into combat here, and then we're going to kill the Mana Weft Sliver because otherwise, they would be able to use its mana. Oh, gosh. These things are all bad. I guess... maybe it is still better. I was gonna... yeah. I guess we're gonna waste not. I was gonna hold on to the Sap Vitality so that we would know what to wait and cast for. The problem is they have both Bone-Sized Sliver and the Collected Company, which makes hanging on to Sap Vitality a little awkward, you know? So I'm not sure. Though admittedly, this is kind of nice. Forcing our opponent to discard here is kind of great. All right. And yeah, I think we could make it a 10-2, and that would be great, but it's unlikely to just go unopposed anyway, so. All right. Yeah, we're almost to 500 subs on YouTube. It's true. Very, very close, folks. 498 subs. All right, makes a dude, and pass the turn. Very, very close. Steinel, good to see you. Yeah, Steinel, it's pretty common in the... Okay. In best of one, you know. Yeah, I was gonna say, that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This attack kind of makes more sense. I think we're gonna take it. I don't think the Sentinel Sliver is annoying enough to have to worry about. So let's Davriel first. See what happens. Just go up and pass. All right, opponent. What you got, Gomez? They do make the land drop. Main phases the Collected Company. Looking for haste, probably. Only a Predatory Sliver. Good lord. Well, folks, there are plenty of non-hits in the Collected Company. Or in the Sliver stack. The Bone-Sized Slivers, obviously. The first Slivers. You know, all kinds of stuff, right? Oh, boy. The opponent did not read Davriel Soulbroker. And that is now costing them. Well, how much do we care about this? Do we just take it? I think we do. Allow it to die. To be fair, who reads? Great question. All right, so let's Acquisitions Expert. Make them discard nothing. Hang on for dear life. We're going to plan on trying to make their life awkward this turn. By Sap Vitality, kill the Predatory Sliver next turn. Leeching Sliver. Ah, crud. Well, that makes our life awkward. Okay. Well, we're gonna block, and I think we're just gonna take, or we're gonna chump here. No, not that, not with that one. That one. Because in the future things get really awkward, and the first strike kind of messes things up. So, okay. Well, Davriel, join the party. Let's go with offers and conditions. Turn 2 creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield. We only have just the one. So I guess we'll draw cards. Then grow their creatures. Awkward. Yeah, I think we've got to do that, though. No, didn't get a removal spell, though. Awkward. All right. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Acquisitions Expert. Get in there. Opponent trades. Okay. These things are fine. Sturtlestone. Yeah, indeed. How you doing, Strider? Good to see you, my friend. I will personally insult you. Good heavens, folks. Jump on that. Let me tell you. Strider doesn't insult just anyone. Whoa. All right. Gonna do a little blocking. That's strange. Not quite sure why our opponent did that. So land, Davriel, make our opponent discard. They're not discarding Gigantha, are they? They are. Good heavens. What do they have that is so good? It's better than Giganta. It must be the first sliver. It's gotta be. All right, well, fine. Then we're just gonna go ahead, get into combat. Pump. Rain, sun gone. Good to see ya. With snow swamps for blood and snow? It's a great question, Rain, sun gone. And I don't think any of my recent lists have done that. Belligerent sliver. Oh, boy. No, actually, we're just gonna go ahead and cast this one. Because it also gets rid of the Dregscape sliver, which is great. It was the first sliver, folks. We called it. How do you like them apples, opponent? Yep. Go on up. And do a little combat. What do you say? In between the first and the middle sliver? Great question. Yeah. Gomez drops to 5. Drops to 3. What do you say? Vazul, good to see you. Oh, hi, Mark. Bringing in the raid. Look at this. Look at this, folks. We are being raided. Feels good, man. All right, let's hang on to that. Just Gauntlet. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, darn, I appreciate that follow. Soul Scar Mage for our opponent. We're actually going to start off with Inquisition of Kozilek. Aye. All these things are bad. Well, gonna get rid of the Static Discharge because that thing gets... Oh. Fair enough, Gauntlet. Fair enough. I see. Opponent goes with Infuriate. Not thrilled about that. Going to take roughly infinite damage. Not ideal. Yeah. I think we're going to take their Wizard's Lightning. Just pop down a Knight of the Ebon Legion and pass turn, see what happens. So it feels good. What deck are you playing? Oh, hi, Mark. A known deck, a tier, meta style deck, or maybe something a little off the wall. All right, Acquisitions Expert, not strictly ideal. I guess I'm worried they might top deck a pump spell and mess things up for us. I think we've got to take care of the flyers, though. All right, we'll do it this way. Fair enough. Rough version of Boros aggro. Feels good. Feels good. Uh-oh, Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's a scary one. But Murderous Rider. That's a good one. All right, well, a little tit for tat there, folks. Feeling good in the neighborhood. Yeah, well, we can't let them go to combat with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. But I think we can wait, because this is not damage dependent. All right. Murderous Rider. Get rid of the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Lose a pair of life. Opponent with 3 mana available, 1 card in hand. Skips through combat. And adds Giganta to hand. You got it. Hey! Don't mind if I do. Go blank. Get them all. All right, well. Our opponent's empty-handed. I think it's only fair that we go empty-handed as well, folks. This is a 4-2, which is a little bit of an awkward stat line, but it does block pretty well, but it also attacks pretty well. So if our opponent wants to be trading a bunch of stuff, nice. Oh, that was a good one, folks. That was a good one indeed. All right, Acquisitions Expert, get in there. Opponent, you going to double block, lose both of them? Or are you going to take it? They're going to take it. Grow our Knight of the Ebon Legion. Don't mind if I do. Indeed. Knight of the Ebon Legion becomes a 2-3. McNally, good to see ya. Start a new account for Twitch. Only been grinding for 2 weeks. Hey! All right, Symmetry Sage. Soulscar Mage, Soulscar Mage. Hagra Mauling. Going to deny them the card draw. Yep. With no money invested. Hey, holy cow. That is awesome, oh hi, Mark. For real. Twitch is a bit of a difficult animal to get started. If you've gotten this far in that short amount of time, then that is then you are doing very, very well indeed. All right, so let's I actually think we're supposed to save for to pump the Knight of the Ebon Legion here, so I guess we're gonna cast Waste Not. Because I don't want our opponent being able to kind of just kill us out of nowhere if they draw well. Land would be all right. Yes. Okay, well, so that's just the Knight of the Ebon Legion gonna get in. Gonna pump once. Do we pump another time? Okay. Was it right to force the chump block there, folks? I feel a little exposed not having a blocker back, you know? Okay. May have said that. Oh, fair enough. Oh, hi, Mark. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I dropped you a follow, and I noticed that, holy cow, you've already got like 100 followers, which, you know, I mean, that's... you're not going to retire from your job on 100 followers, I can tell you that. But, like, you know, that's a lot of followers for someone who had only been streaming for a few weeks. You know, that's a lot. All right, Infuriate. Doing its thing. No blocks. You got me. GG, Gabby Milk. GG. Or do you know, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just trying to explain why I feel the way that I do. Terramander. Well, indeed. Indeed, sure. Cerudio. Thank you, my friend. For the record, folks, I have been streaming now for an hour and 36 minutes, and Cerudio has been the only one to compliment my Davriel cosplay, I want to say. I am far more accustomed to you guys stroking my ego. I'm just saying, you know? Just saying. I'm just giving you guys a hard time. All right, just absolutely teasing. Should remove Pioneer and focus on multiplay. See, that's the thing, Steinel. They have said we will never get that on Arena. Steinel. They literally said we will never. It's Arena is designed as a two-person client. No matter what happens, it's built from the ground up as a two-person client. We will never get more than 2 people. So, you know, we can all hope for Arena 2, Electric Boogaloo, or something like that. But as far as Arena goes, it's not going to happen. Or, you know, if you believe them, right? Yes, Tom KC, but it does give them an opportunity to do something else. And in fairness, Commander was still ramping up in popularity when they first started on Arena, right? So I don't think it's unreasonable for them to be like, you know, not be able to see into the future, right? Yeah, Jaffer, it's true. I think that would be the ideal way to go about it. I don't know how reasonable it is or is not to expect that, but, you know. Lofty denial. Well, folks, we're glad we ran out the acquisitions expert there. We were worried about just such a thing, and in fact, it did come to fruition. All right. I don't want to give them a chance to surveil more things into their bin. We're just gonna get rid of that right now. Indeed, Sinal. And yeah, Jaffer, I do think it is likely they want to have some delineation in their game, you know, a reason for people to do other things. Did you draw another counterspell, Pooh is Cold? They did. It was a Spell Pierce. All right, you got me. Terramander evolves. Folks, they have drawn really, really well here. So hopefully that trend has now ceased, and they are on the downward trend now. But look at this. All action. 4 lands in the top 19 cards. 5 lands in the top 19 cards. My bad. All right. Well, Murderous Rider. Soul Broker. And you know what? They've hit us with 2 different counterspells here. I'm just gonna get rid of the Delver. I don't want to get Spell Pierced out of the game here. Let's just do this thing. Ooh, being an Explorer, Poseidon? Fair enough, we can do that. Ah, Pooh is Cold, scooping them up. I was like, how did they come up with lethal? We're still at 8. I keep intending I'm going to have a special day one of these days where you know, not community night. It's going to be different. But, like, I go through the decks in the Discord. Okay. All of these things are unfortunate. I guess we're going to go with the Lord because we don't have hard removal yet anyway. And we would rather they run out the Allosaurus Shepherd than the Llanowar Elves, but they won't, so it's fine. Hey, thank you, Elfin Leads. 6-month-old. Rodman, glad you made it. Calado is like muted in Spanish. Oh, well, thank you. Good thing we added them sweepers. Well, yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. I'm not sure about it. Like, that opponent, the last time we saw elves, they drew 1 million cards. But they seeked 1 million cards, right? With the Planeswalker, and they had the elf that seeks an elf and all that kind of stuff. So, like, even with the sweeper, I don't think we win that game with a sweeper. What we needed was lands. We didn't get those that game. Now, maybe we win, maybe we don't. If we get lands, whatever. But we needed land. So I don't know if that matters or not. Like, if that's where we're supposed to be, or if we're just supposed to kind of stay true to the game plan, so to speak. All right, well, that much is good. I think we are just going to snap off Go Blank here. Make our opponent discard 2 more cards. They likely want to save the Beast Whisperer, but that means they're going to have to tap out entirely to cast it. So if this is a creature, they can't follow it up and draw a card. They could if they had a land, but of course, if they had a land, they can't follow it up either. So, oh boy, that's a good one. Yes, Hagra Mauling. Get out. Do we want to lose a Davriel or a Liliana, folks? Because whatever Planeswalker we play is going to die. It's Davriel Day, right? It's unfortunate because I think Liliana's ultimate is going to lead to more victories, but you know, you can only do what you can do. So Clotinger has another Beast Whisperer. No, darn it. So that's going to cost us another one. Shoot. Any favorite cards to join? Oh, yeah. Rodman. I am very, very fond of Kalidas in general. Cannot let them have those things, folks. The Beast Whisperer really does ruin our day. But, you know, I think all the cards that they've added, I would say every single one of them I'm actually kind of fond of, so... I mean, I suppose that's true, Jen and I. I guess it depends, you know, those things, right? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Acquisitions expert. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Opponent. The beats have been slowed. If this is a Lord, though, we're hurting. Okay, it's not a Lord, but we might be hurting anyway, because that is a scary, scary magic card. Do we dare? Yeah, we've got to get a clock on, or we're going to bleed out. All right. Go on ahead, opponent. Take your 2. Brock Madar, good to see ya. All right. Knight of the Ebon Legion. We're definitely going to pump here. Opponent takes 4. Takes 2 more. Down to 12. What do you say, Clotinger? China is where it's 524. Makes sense. Clotinger can kill Davriel if that's the sort of thing that excites them. Oh boy, a land here is actually not bad. I think they've kind of got a chump block now. Unless they could just be saying, I'm going to go for the win here, right? And they're hoping for a collected company off the top or something like that. But they take 8, drop to 4. Davriel, take 2 more. Now if they attack all out at Davriel to kill it, well, actually, we can still keep it alive. Unless they have a Fierce Empath. Seriously? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Wait, hold on. Are we not dead? We're not dead! Folks, I did not bother doing the math. I was just convinced that Craterhoof was lethal. Because Craterhoof is always lethal. Holy cow. Wrath of God, all that sort of thing in Historic, not necessarily over there. So it's definitely the clear-cut best sweeper, you know, obviously. And I'm not trying to downplay it, but I am saying that for the record, it is what it is. You know, it's not spontaneously going to make, whoa, okay. It's not spontaneously going to make Control have a good matchup against aggro. That's, you know, not a thing. All right. Down, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Knight of the Ebon Legion. Join the party. No, not with money, Tom KC. That's channel points. Channel points you get for free. You actually can't buy channel points. You can only get channel points through just watching the stream and stuff. So, oh yeah. Currency. Yes, they are a currency to be bought and sold. Absolutely. Slapped your back. Good to see you. All right, Fabled Passage, doing nasty things to us. All right. Well, we do need a land next turn, in the worst kind of way, for the record. In the worst kind of way. Bouncing Shore Shark. Yep. You got it. Bouncing Knight of the Ebon Legion. Belly batting, good to see ya. And getting in for 4. Indeed. No, that is not a land. All right. That is a land. Not ideal. Okay. Folks, that is really, really awkward. Darn it. And Pouncing Shore Shark getting us. All right. We have to have an untapped land this turn. Actually, I don't think there are... Well, there are 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants. We do not want a Hive of the Eye Tyrant. It has to be an untapped land. Okay, thank you. All right. Davriel Soul Broker. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dusk. That was about to be a very embarrassing moment. That is very frustrating. So now that our deck betrayed us for this long, they're going to get to Auspicious Sterix and get all kinds of value. And we don't have any recourse because they gave them the perfect card after making us wait for naught but a basic land. Feeling a little betrayed by the deck here. Feeling a little bit betrayed. All right. Auspicious Sterix, going away. Namad Todd, good to see ya. And advice on being the coolest. Namad Todd, I'm not gonna lie. I have never been cool in the conventional sense. I'm pretty convinced I'm not cool now, but I appreciate all of you, you know, like, feeding my ego in that way. That is great. Yes, Mama May. See, that sounds like a great plan to me. All right. We have to trade, unfortunately. But we can't... Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well. Perpetually -3, -3. No attacks. Pass the turn. See what happens. Hey, thank you, Namatan. Appreciate you, my friend. Tropicancer, good to see ya. I think being cool is about the perception of being cool, as opposed to being, or the reality. You know, as long as people perceive you a given way, then it is so, right? All right, well, it doesn't hurt to fire this off. I assume, I was going to say, our opponent is likely doing a whole lot of nothing over there, but it could be something like a negate, and it turns out it was something like a negate. All right, we're going to put a clock on. Okay, opponent. Captain Rasha, good to see ya. Another Ruin Crab. No! Okay. Opponent. Going after our Davriel. Going after our face. Alright. Well, that is something for sure. Alright, opponent. Loses 2 life. Gets a land. We lose 6. Count them, 6 cards from the top of our library. None of our removal spells having come through yet. And now Murderous Rider, unlikely to be enough. Do we pay life for cards? Actually puts us awkwardly. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that is a good one. So let's get rid of that. And then cast this so that the Migratory Greathorn is not lethal. Pass the turn. Opponent takes 2 more. Down to 7. All right. And 1 card. 19 cards in the library. We do not win particularly quickly, folks. But with the Davriel on board, with the Knight of the Ebon Legion on board, we do have something of a robust clock. Well, shoot. Okay, so the opponent gets Pouncing Shore Shark, going to bounce the Murderous Rider, because that makes the Murderous Rider unusable, right? Mill over a few cards, down to 16. Our Knight of the Ebon Legion now unable to pump and trade with the Pouncing Shore Shark. So the Pouncing Shore Shark able to get in. Well, we have to chump because we don't want to die. Ay. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. That is a card. Well, Murderous Rider. Going to join the party because the Hive of the Eye Tyrant is tapped. Opponent drops to 5. If the opponent gets another mutate creature, we die either way. They could mutate onto the Ruin Crab, or they could mutate onto the Pouncing Shore Shark and bounce. Either one is fine. They would kill us either way, but no. Okay, so we go up to 4. That's a good thing. Okay. Opponent passes. Oh, that's a good one. Well, Davriel. Make them discard a Saw It Coming. Let's wait one more turn. We could kill the Pouncing Shore Shark, it's true. But then we die if they have another mutator. Aha, okay. So Cultivate off the top, not going to do it. I think we've got him. All right. ENNC, good to see ya. Oh, I guess with Davriel, we were going to kill him, weren't we? Okay, so that was definitely a missed lethal situation. Glad you made it, ENNC. Yeah. So yeah, that was a punt. We definitely gave them an extra draw step there.